we got a good one here, folks. Welcome to Kota's Cove episode 2, everybody. Like I promised, we will be talking about Ghost of Tsushima today for the PlayStation 4. I'm going to give my review, what I thought were some pros and cons of the game, and like I said, this was a great game. There was a lot more pros than there were cons, and if you own a PS4 and you have not gotten this game, it is highly worth the full price of this game. You won't be disappointed. Alright, so just a basic plot about what Ghost of Tsushima is. It is taking place in about 1294. Kota Khan and the Mongols are invading an island in Japan called Tsushima, and you play the hero Jin, who is a samurai warrior who is trying to repel the invasion with his uncle Lord Shimura. And the way this game plays is kind of similar to the Assassin's Creed style game with your stealth mechanics, the way that combat is, and kind of like an overall storyline kind of feels all very similar to Assassin's Creed. Alright, now we're going to go into some of the pros and the cons of this game, and folks, Lord have mercy, the settings and the visual in this game are absolutely stunning. I mean, you go to the Golden Temple for the first time, your eyes start welling up. I have never ever seen a game with visuals this beautiful. The colors are vibrant, and when you start the game, there are a couple different ways to play the game. There's an option for I believe a Surasawa mode is what it's called, and that's black and white. They have the original like Japanese dialogue to go with it. If you're playing this game, the black and white move is very cool, but I promise you, you are doing a disservice by not playing with the regular color in this game just because of how vibrant the colors are. I was absolutely blown away by the setting. Lord have mercy. For the combat, you know, the most important thing in the game, you have to have good combat. Games with lackluster combat get very boring and you just kind of want to turn them off and not play them again. Ghost of Tsushima does not have a problem with the combat. I love the combat. You got your different forms with your swords that you're holding. Lord have mercy, because you have different types of enemies. You got enemies with spears, enemies with swords, enemies with shield. You have brutes, big hulking looking Hulk guys from the Mongols that you have to fight, and each stance helps you break their defenses easy. If you're playing somebody with swords and you have the stance to parry somebody with the shield, it's harder to break their defense. They can get more hits on you quickly, you die quicker. Combat's very good. Next thing I have is the upgrading your character. A lot of these open world games, you know, like your Skyrim, your Witcher 3, you have a skill tree you can do to upgrade your character, and you have certain skills within the tree you can do. You can only advance it so much and so forth to advance your character. Ghost of Tsushima has one of the best character development screens and choices I have ever seen, folks. You can change different attribute points in for each stance, so you get different attacks for each stance again. So for a variety of enemies, you get all these different attacks you can use with them. You can put it to your ghost weapons. Now, ghost weapons are something you unlock throughout the game to help you kill enemies more stealthily, help your legend grow. That's really awesome. You can put stuff on for your bows, you can put stuff on for quick throwing weapons while you're in combat. Just the combat with the way you can customize your character, it's one of the best I've ever seen, folks. It's probably number one, and then I'd probably put The Witcher 3 right behind it. Next, one thing that I absolutely love in this game, you know how when you get your open world games that you are going to have a minimap. Minimap's going to tell you, hey, your mission's over this way, you're so far away from there, go this way. Ghost of Tsushima, that is not the case at all. What happens in this game is there is no minimap, and you have this guiding wind, which I believe that they hint at being like the spirit of your father, which is really cool in itself. You swipe up on the touchpad and the wind will guide you to what objective you want to go. You don't have to use it though. This is one open world that you can go and just get lost and immerse yourself in the environment. For open world games, I explore for a little bit, I get a little bored, I want to continue the main story because I love good plots. But with this game, I haven't even gotten through the whole game yet. I just got to the second act right now because I am stuck in the first part trying to complete everything, trying to find everything there is in the map, and it's just awesome. Like, I've probably put close to 10-15 hours in this game already just exploring. Like I said, with the plot and how good the plot was, what I also like in this is you can tell early on that the side characters that you meet throughout the game, like Lady Masako or Rizu, if you pronounce that right, I probably butchered it, so sorry about that. But throughout the game, you have side quests you can do for them. And throughout the game, as you advance further in the game, you can tell that these people are going to come into play within the main storyline. So like at the beginning of the game, they all come together to help you with the first portion or the climax of the first part, and that's really cool too. A lot of times you get side characters in games and they kind of just get tossed off to the side, which isn't like that in here. So that is really, really cool. In addition to the side quests, I have to say the mythic tales in this game, absolutely awesome. The mythic tales are something where you go to somebody who's usually playing an instrument and they give you a little side story, like a story that's been passed down from generation to generation that has to deal with weapons or myths. So like there's one mission where you have to go and get a bow that was supposedly cursed, and when they tell the stories, folks, they tell it in like black painting, and it's just awesome. It immerses you in the culture. You feel like you are one with the island, you're a part of this island, you're a part of these people, and it's just an amazing way to get into the game. They were honestly my favorites, and I just honestly think there's not enough of them for right now. I could easily do those missions over and over again. And like I said, the immersion in this game is great. You get pulled into the game, you learn the culture, you feel like you're one of these peoples or you belong to this family of people. It's just awesome. And then the last thing I have, my biggest pro for this game, is the attention to detail. The attention to detail in this game is amazing. For example, when Jin, the hero that you're playing, is running up a hill, if you run up a hill for a long enough time, he's huffing, he's puffing, he takes a couple slower steps, and you gotta wait for him to catch his breath again before he can start running at full speed, and for as long as you can. Hey, real life, I'm not a skinny guy. I run up a hill for 3 seconds, I'm huffing and puffing, and I'm done. Give me an Uber, I'm out of here. The next thing I have is when you go and fight enemies, when you're done, you always see in the old samurai movies or something like that, they're always cleaning their blade, getting the blood off their blade, keeping the blade clean. Well, in this game, when you go to sheath your sword after combat, Jin does it. And I don't know if it's just random, but I think the amount of enemies you kill and blood that gets on it, he gets a different animation. Don't quote me on that, but I've only killed one person and he does it off the sleeve. I've killed multiple people a few times, and then you'll see him flip the sword to get all the blood off. That is just awesome. Again, that has to go with immersion. That's what you want from a developer when they do games. You want attention to detail. Every little thing counts. That is what makes our money worth putting into the product, and we like to see this. The last thing I have wasn't even something that I noticed. My brother noticed playing the game. There's a mission, like I said, where you go to get a cursed bow. Well, when you fight this guy to get the cursed bow, he says you're gonna be cursed, and once you finish him off, what happens is a bunch of crows start swirling around you. You kind of black out. You don't know what happened. Well, as the game progresses, and after you start defeating enemies or coming up the villages with death or just riding out in the wild, if you look behind you, there's a flock of crows always around, and I believe that is the cursed crows that you dealt with getting that bow. And just that attention to detail is amazing, and it's just like I said, you would get immersed in the game and you just don't want to stop playing when you play. Now for the cons in this video, I don't have many cons with this game. Like I said, I'm in love with this game. This is easily going up for Game of the Year. Lord have mercy. Go ahead, buy this. Call off of work for a week if you need to. If you got vacation left, go ahead and just play the heck out of this game. But one con I do have, some of the side missions you can do, they feel a little repetitive. And what I mean by that is they always involve like, hey, go find this person for me, or hey, bandits or Mongols are over here, can you defeat them for me so I can get back? It gets a little repetitive in that sense, and that happens with a lot of open world games, but like I said, the combat kind of balances that out because the combat's so much fun. The next thing I have, it's just, I don't know if I've this experience, only I know the people at whatculture.com have. I think Scott Talford was talking about this. Their opening scene when you're on the beach, and it goes to a cinematic view riding down to the beach with your uncle. I don't know what happened with the frame rates, but they dropped significantly for me, and it was very, very, first it threw me off. I was like, oh man, I really hope the rest of this game isn't like that, because that dropping frame rates that bad, that can just take you out of the game. You don't want to pick it up or anything. Happy to say that is not the case. Do not worry, everybody. It was just that one hiccup at the beginning of the game, and the rest of the game is just smooth, flawless, and beautiful. The one big con I have for this game, though, that's kind of aggravating is the lighting. And what I mean by that, especially at nighttime, if you go into a hut, it's not like the 21st century people. We don't have light bulbs to power everything. You know, everything was by candlelight for them back in the day. Well, you go into a hut, nighttime, you're in there, and you might as well be Matt Murdock, people. I mean, you are blind walking in this place. The only reason I know how to get around huts is if there's supplies or loot I can grab in there, it shines. That's the only way. Other than that, I can't find ladders to go up into the upper level. It's just ridiculous. I don't know how many times I've ran into stuff. I look like an idiot in the game. I think they could have done a better job with the lighting in that aspect. And one of the last things I have, it can be a criticism or a con, but at this point it's just kind of nitpicking for me. Like I said, it plays like an Assassin's Creed game. If you're not a fan of Assassin's Creed games, you're probably gonna be a little turned away by this game. And what I mean by that is the stealth portions of the game, they can be, the AI for the enemies can be a little ridiculous. Like, I will be over here, two enemies standing right beside one another, and the way you can attract people, you know, you got something in this game, you get wind chime, throw a wind chime, throw a firecracker, draw an enemy away from him, go and assassinate him. You throw a firecracker, you got the one dude. What was that? Who put this here? Oh. Meanwhile, other guy's just sitting here. Wonder where my partner went. Has no clue. He's dead. The only time they ever see anybody is if you do it right in front of them and they somehow see you. Then they'll blow their little like bugle they have, call other enemies over, and then you have a huge fight. But just a bit of a nitpick. Other than that, this game, easily, I'm giving it an A+. Go ahead, go to the store, buy it right now. Enjoy yourself. It's, like I said, game of the year right here. Lord have mercy, what I personally believe. So go ahead, enjoy it. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Kota's Cove. Just make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, get the next notification. I am planning on doing my first set of film reviews, everybody, and pretty excited about this. I'm gonna go ahead and do, I think, a Marvel versus DC universe for their movies. What I plan on doing is gonna go ahead, do all the Marvel movies, review them, rank them, go through all the DC movies, review them, rank them, and then at the end of that series, I want to go ahead and match them up beside one another, give you my thoughts on it, what could have been improved, you know, and then we'll go on from there. So thank you for tuning in. Have a good one.